Place. That's from Brady? Yeah. Comes with a recharge, get software updates, you know.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm excited. We're at $1 trillion, man. Tesla Hertz blockbuster deal paves the way to take EVs mainstream. Renting first may tip more customers to buy electric cars. Deal creates major customers just as Tesla expands production. Hertz Global Holdings Inc. $4.2 billion deal with Tesla Inc. is about more than just an order of 100,000 cars. It's about vaulting electric vehicles into the mainstream. Not only does Tesla get a huge order at a premium price, it gets a way for the electric curious masses to test drive its Model 3. Hertz, meanwhile, gets to tap into the growing interest in EVs while aligning itself with the industry's leader and sexiest brand. Tesla will also benefit from exposure in a splashy Hertz ad campaign starring 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. This is an opportunity not only to fix the business, but also to employ a strategy that allows us to play a central role in the development of the modern mobility industry. Hertz's new interim chief executive officer and former CEO of Ford said in an interview, one of the objectives is to lead in the adaptation of electric vehicles.
He's a former CEO of Ford, and he went with Tesla cars and not with like the Mach-E or whatever. That's saying a lot right there.
Know.
That should be like number one on CNBC, like Ford, ex-Ford. Imagine if it was
ex-Ford
the opposite.
CEO, right? Ex-Ford CEO endorses Tesla over his own.
Buys Tesla cars, says F you to Ford.
Right. The F stands for FU.
I mean, like that's a big FU to his previous company.
That's huge because he could have worked the deal and gotten in, a million of the Mach-E's, and it's
going to take them over a year, right, to get it to him.
That's 1/5 of all the production that Shanghai can do in a year at its max capacity. So it's not going to be in a year.
All the factories right now, the total production is going to be this year like 900,000, 850,000, whatever. Right. So if he's buying 100,000 cars, he's buying what, 11, 12% of production? Isn't that a lot? Isn't that a lot? Like 12% of production for the whole year, basically. He's like, I want that production.
I mean, just imagine if it was Apple and somebody came in and bought 1/10 of all the iPhones that were made.
I mean, that would be that's crazy.
That's a PO to end all POs.
How can it get better? Because
even Tesla,
we have $1,000 shares. How can it get better?
I know. Even Tesla CEO Elon Musk said in a Twitter post that he was a bit surprised by the strange jump in value, considering that his automaker is already selling as many cars as it can make and as it speeds up production. And this is Elon Musk. Strange that moved valuation, as Tesla is very much a production ramp problem, not a demand problem.
Right. He's been saying this. He's been saying, look, we could only produce this many vehicles this year, and we have too much demand. He already said this.
That's
many
one of the
times.
reasons the prices jumped.
I know, but he can't make the extra 100,000 and give them to them. So basically, they're just going in the queue of all the other cars that are in the queue. So the thing that we as investors should look into is that we shouldn't rush into buying the stock right now, because people are pricing in a lot of stuff.
When you say the stock, which one you mean? You mean Hertz or Tesla?
Oh, we definitely should never buy Hertz again. We'll talk about that.
I'll make a case for you.
Hold on, we'll show.
Come in my heart. Listen, I'm already. We gotta understand.
We'll show Hertz. We'll show Hertz.
I know, but I'm a little bit hurt because, as you know, I had thousands of shares of Hertz. I had call options for like.
Well, here I did bring up. Since you're bringing up charts, I did bring up the Hertz chart. It's basically.
It's actually a new ticker, though. This is why I don't know.
Oh, this is the old ticker, Hertz?
No. HTZ was the old one. HTZZ is the new one. And I don't know that HTZ shares would transfer over because the company did declare bankruptcy. So I don't know that. If you know in the comments below, before I'm too lazy to Google it, in the comments below, if you know if my shares and my call options would have been honored had I have held them through the bankruptcy, let me know. Basically, if they were, I'm going to be very sad. I'm going to be very sad.
Basically, we're not sure because Carlos had shares before the bankruptcy. Then after the bankruptcy, what happens to the shareholders, right? I'm not sure. I think we had that question in a previous episode. Actually, we're not quite sure. Or maybe you just get paid out somehow.
Maybe I would have just gotten my money back. I don't know. That's a good question.
10 cents on the dollar, and then it's $28.
10 cents on the dollar. Well, if I'm not mistaken, it would have had been over $128,000.
If you got to keep your shares.
I got to keep my shares, and it was. I don't know. I have to look back and see because I can't go back that far.
I don't know why you should even go back because that's just like
I want to know.
That's
I need
pain.
to know these things. There was a deal announced today between Hertz and Tesla, just buying 100,000 Model 3s from Tesla. It's a genius move from Hertz. Hertz, which recently went bankrupt. I believe this is the first deal of many between rental car companies and Tesla, and this is the beginning of the RoboTaxi network. That was my first thought. And what they're saying is, with this deal, Hertz now becomes the second largest RoboTaxi operator. There is a question if RoboTaxi in level 4 and 5 autonomy will happen. Warren Redlick, love that guy, is confident that Tesla will nail FSD by the end of 2023. I think this is an accurate timeline and is in line with what I think. When Tesla solves full self-driving, immediately overnight, Hertz's network now becomes a RoboTaxi network.
A bit of news on Hertz. Usually their vehicles, I did look into this. I don't have the stat in front of me, but usually a vehicle before it's sold again, before they get rid of it, is around, I think it's 13 to 18 months, somewhere in that range. This is a Tesla, meaning maybe less wear, less maintenance, right? So let's even double that lifetime to, I don't know, 3.5 years. So basically what you're saying about the RoboTaxi thing, I don't think Hertz is thinking about that thing at all. I think they just know where the future is going and they want to be the first there. That's the reason they're doing this, because they might actually have to buy all new cars in 3.5 years before the RoboTaxi thing is real.
I 100% completely disagree.
I mean, do you want to go search for actual their turnover rate on cars? We can show that.
But we've already, like, a Tesla is not the same as a traditional car. The reason why you have to get rid of an internal combustion engine is because, for example, out of the warranty, the parts that break, it's more mechanical. This is an AV. I think they're looking at it as, we don't have to buy cars. I actually think they bought this for the RoboTaxi network. They're saying, we're going to be the first, so we're going to be the first in the queue. When everyone realizes how hard this problem is, including Uber and Lyft, we're going to have our cars out on the network first, and people are just going to use what's available. If they're all Teslas anyway, we're just going to use what's available.
You're giving a lot of credit to the ex-Ford guy. You're giving way too much credit. He's smart enough to buy the Teslas, but I don't think he's that smart.
No. Well, but I mean, if he's smart enough to know that the Tesla is the winner, then he's been listening to everything Elon Musk is saying, and he's making just as much of a bet on Elon as you and me. And he knows I would double down and I would say he knows what Ford has. He knows exactly.
Everyone knows Ford has nothing. Everyone knows Ford has nothing.
He knows it on a level of like what it would actually take them to do it, like behind their announcements and press releases. He actually knows how the company works, and he's like, they're never going to do it. Let's be honest.
They don't have the software skills to do that kind of thing.
Right. That's what it comes down to. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. These are now.
It's not a Silicon Valley company, right? It's not a Silicon Valley company. It's not going to do it.
Right. Like if Ford came out with a.
Look, we're both bulls, obviously, on Tesla.
I'm a little more bullish than you today.
You always are. In fact, you're always talking about the taxi thing, and I think it's an imaginary thing.
Okay, we're gonna see how this video ages, guys. I mean, seriously, in the comments below, if you're an investor in Hertz and you're an investor in or investor in Tesla, do you really not think that Hertz had this completely in mind? That Hertz,
the company that went bankrupt.
Yes.
The guy who's the Ford CEO, you think they're thinking about robo-taxis?
100%. I think they were like, we see the writing on the wall.
Okay, no, but this is easy. We get the CEO on our show. Easy, done.
All right, deal. Let's get him on the show and let's ask him, guys, get the like count of this video up, get the subscribers up, and let's get the former CEO of Ford, current CEO of Hertz on the show. I am totally going to tweet it.
And if he says it, what's our bet? I will buy more ALYI.
I wouldn't do that to you. Honestly, I wouldn't do that to you. I would tell you to buy Ford.
I'd buy Ford. I'll buy $1,000 of Ford stock.
$1,000. The thing is, you're going to do well on that. I think you'll do well more than any other company.
Well, definitely than ALYI for sure.
Well, definitely than ALYI. But Sandy Munro came out and announced that the company he thinks will be number 2 long term is Ford.
Honestly, no, I disagree with him completely. I know.
Let me guess. You think it'll be a
Chinese?
I'm
not saying it's NIO, even though I'm invested in NIO, but it could be XPeng or NIO. BYD is very looking very spicy. In fact, I was dumb. I had BYD at $18. I got rid of it at $20 because I wanted something else. I forgot what it was. And now it's $36. I'm like, what a dum-dum.
Well, but I'm saying, like you said, don't look back, right? See, that hurts you. How do you think I feel what hurts, man? Hurt me, man.
But like I'm saying, the Chinese companies are, if we didn't have Tesla, this is what I don't understand, why America is so against America. Right?
We know
why is America against America?
Right, but we know exactly why. It's not because they hate him in particular, or they don't think the technology.
They hate Tesla. They hate Elon Musk.
But they hate him for political reasons that have nothing to do with their technology or what they provide.
Yeah, but that can ruin the momentum. Even if they slow Elon Musk and Tesla down a little bit, I'm afraid they're going to give companies. Even though I own NIO, I don't want NIO taking over American car manufacturing. don't get me wrong, I want NIO to do well in Sweden, Norway.
Right.
But I don't want them to take over American car manufacturing. I want Tesla to win because they're a real American company. In fact, is Ford a real American company besides maybe their corporate offices? Don't they make cars in Mexico?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, this is ridiculous. Like, these conversations are completely stupid because I don't know who's actually tracking who's an American company
Like
anymore.
before Tesla, who's the last person that built a car factory in this country?
I don't think anybody.
It's all the people in like Detroit.
Well, actually, I think the Japanese did. The Japanese did.
Did they really allow?
I think Toyota. Toyota built a couple.
Right. Okay,
Toyota built a couple of plants, and even China. I think BYD is building a plant. I forgot where exactly, but they are building a plant here. And the point is, our American companies are going elsewhere, and we have the Chinese, the Japanese coming in, and now we're trying to mess with Tesla, which really upsets me, obviously, and I'm sure it upsets you. We talk about this.
No, it really does upset me. And then look, he moved the office from California to Texas. He's shown that like if you piss him off enough, he's gonna just keep going wherever he needs to go because he's a guy who's that company.
He's mission driven, right?
It's not about quarters. It's not about money. It's not about earning. It's not about the stock price. It's about mission. And so that guy is going to just get the obstacles out of his way.
What sucks is if there's too many obstacles here in the United States, I'm sure he would move somewhere else. Like, I mean, why not?
Do you not think that having Giga Berlin is a hedge to say, hey, maybe we, eventually, because we can run these factories from there. I would hate to see that, and that would
I don't want to see
that. The stock. It would tank the stock if they moved.
Well, it's just bad for America. It's a bad look.
It would be a really bad look. And it might be one of those points. I'm hoping that this is actually a point where people say enough is enough. Like, and just sort of call out the corruption in government and say, don't, like, you mess with a lot of things and we let it go, but like, don't mess with this.
Well, we don't get into politics, but the one thing I want to say is that we should stop electing 90-year-old men, all of them. We should get the 40-year-old, whatever, me. We should get the 40-year-old.
Right.
Well, I mean, we should just get like 40-year-old people, 30-year-old people into politics, into government, because this is idiotic.
When we get 700 subs, Vitaly's going to run for city council.
No, I don't know about that.
Vitaly's going to run for city council. He's going to change these laws I'm going
to change it one little county at a time.
All right. So the point is, Hertz is in a great position. All Tesla has to do is solve autonomy, and in an instant, Hertz has 100,000 autonomous taxis that are much more price competitive than Uber and Lyft. With Hertz using,
I don't get it. Hold on. Can't Uber and Lyft just do the same thing and buy 100,000 Teslas? I don't understand why this.
But see, it was not part of Uber's business model to own the vehicles. They don't own the vehicles. And
hold on a second.
Massive thing on their balance sheet, and that is Hertz's business. So,
hold on. The former CEO Kalanick, the former CEO of Uber, he did say, was it directly to Elon? I don't remember, but he said, you produce as many Model 3s as you can, and I will buy those Model 3s. He's no longer the CEO, though. It's now a different guy who's actually leading them. But
maybe that's why.
But the previous CEO said, you make it. I will buy it. I will buy all of them.
With Hertz using all 100,000 vehicles as RoboTaxis and operating them 18 hours a day, that will be much more used than individual people using these vehicles. Tesla is very happy to make a deal with Hertz here because of the amount of used Hertz will give the vehicles as opposed to individual investors. This is potentially bearish news to me. We saw this with Rivian. With one tweet, Bezos is asking Rivian to change their model, is saying, we want you to prioritize the trucks for us. We want the vans, right? And with that size of a deal and that stake that they have in the company, I mean, I don't know how Rivian will answer to that. If Tesla's finding themselves making more money by selling vehicles commercially, right? Who knows if they might not start to prioritize those over.
I mean, they will. Honestly, they will. Like, think of the taxi networks. This is where I think instead of RoboTaxi, like even New York has a lot of actually Model 3s and Model Ys now. Have you heard of the company Revel? We covered them a bit.
Yeah, they have like 50 Teslas. Yeah, I saw this.
I think it was 100. I thought it was 100 vehicles. So they bought 100 Model Ys. It's this cool blue color. I mean, it looks sleek as hell, honestly. If I saw this in the city, I would totally take this car.
That's what Zipcar should have been.
Tesla is selling vehicles to a lot of taxi networks now, especially forward-looking ones. So if New York City, the official New York City taxis don't get their shite in order, the medallion people, I think it's a problem for them because this car drives 300 miles. The long range is like 300 miles. I'm not sure if they got the long range, but 300 miles is how many is that? I don't know if that's a full day, but it's most of a day of driving in the city.
And here's something they don't talk about with EVs versus ICE vehicles. EVs get better range in city driving because there's so much regenerative braking. Gas
Right.
vehicles burn a lot of gas at the light, so they're
Right.
actually more efficient on longer trips. That's why right now, the current taxi guy that picks you up wants you to go to JFK. He wants you to go to LAX. He wants you to go to Staten Island
Right.
because he's going to make money on the speed and the length of the trip. The Teslas will be better off taking you 2 or 3 blocks because they're going to have
Yeah,
all that regenerative
absolutely.
braking.
In fact, Teslas or all electric vehicles are less efficient when they're trying to go 75 miles an
Exactly,
hour.
when they're trying to go 75.
Yeah.
So you'll have this thing where maybe that's what happens eventually. Maybe that's where it turns. The ICE vehicles are for the longer range trips, like out to Long Island or to the airports back and forth, and the Teslas
Well,
or whatever.
no, I mean, like the Tesla will go there too. Yes, the guy has to charge in between. I totally get that. But as supercharging gets better, and the guy has to eat anyway in the middle of the day. I mean,
How many
like,
times have you seen the taxi guy sleeping in his car? I've seen them all the time, sleeping in their car
true.
during a
I
break.
guess you can sleep at the charging station. Right? I
That's what I'm
guess you could
saying.
do that.
Now imagine Tesla has that and you build a charging station out on the West Side Highway. You can take 50 to 100 Teslas. You build like a little, kind of like what Arcimoto is planning for their factories, making it a destination, making up an FUV park. You make the charging station a destination that people go just to go there. Families can bring there, have
Well,
their kids,
I don't know if the
restaurants.
taxis. I don't know if the taxis are that forward thinking. By the way, like, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying the companies themselves are like the old school taxi network. They fighting tooth and nail
They
against these
hate this.
Teslas.
No, they
hate this.
Well, wait a minute. But we've seen this before when Uber tried to
Yeah.
get access to the airports. They fought that tooth and nail. They made it
know.
so you can't. Then when like Uber couldn't pick you up at the airport, you had to take a cab out of it. Then they had a minimum charge of like $30 just to get out of the airport to fight
Right.
that. And then eventually, Uber picks you up at arrivals if you've departed.
Yeah, I know. It's so dumb. It is so dumb.
And now
Yeah.
Uber is just there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously they're going to lose the taxi network if they don't get their shite together. I keep
Yeah.
saying shite. Okay. But
That's
basically,
the word of the day, guys. Shite.
shite. As soon as you walk out of the airport, you're immediately calling the Uber. You're
Or you
already
call
like,
it when you get off the plane.
right. That's what I'm
You
saying.
call, and he meet you upstairs, and
And
you,
he says, right, they text you right away,
It's
go to
done.
arrivals. Like, what do I care where I stand for you to pick me
well,
up?
now
Like-
every airport has that designated section just for rideshare that doesn't interfere with people coming in and out. Like if you've
Oh,
if
did,
you've-
did they change their rules?
all
I
of
still
it,
I still got picked up at arrival at least the last time, maybe a year ago.
you get picked up at departures. I get
Was it
picked up.
departures or arrivals?
Yes, you get picked up at the opposite because the thinking is if
Yes.
there's all this people at arrival, the departure should be empty, and there's like a
Right.
little rideshare section at the beginning and at the end, where you just walk to the end and your car will just pick you up.
Right. I mean,
And-
we're going off topic, but all those
Right.
people are obviously going to go electric as well. It doesn't make sense. Just think about how cheap it is. A gallon of gas, I get it. It's being artificially a little bit kept low, but still 3-4 bucks a gallon of gas. In terms of energy I think we did this math before, but I forgot what it was, but 3-4 bucks in gallon is equivalent to maybe 50 cents for electric, somewhere in that range where I'm paying, meaning to charge the car, the same amount of energy to drive the same distance.
yeah.
So I know we did that calculation before. I'm not going to go into it here, but it's still way cheaper. That's the point. The point is
And
that
look,
it's
at
just
the end
way
of the-
cheaper.
At the end of the day, like we both have EVs. I know
Yes.
what I'm paying for.
It's so cheap.
I'm what I'm
Yeah.
paying for the car. I charge it in LA. We have time of use, so I charge it between 8 and 10 a.m. in the morning. It's always
Right.
charged every morning, and the bill's $13 more or whatever a month to charge.
Right.
the
And mine
car.
is around between $6 and $20 more for the extra
Right.
use of the
I have a
electric.
24 kilowatt hour battery in the Leaf, and you've got what, a 70 something,
75 kilowatt
75
hour, yeah.
kilowatt hour.
But no, but we know we don't use 75 kilowatt hours
that's
a day.
The thing,
Like,
right?
that
If you're
doesn't happen.
driving if I have that car here, it's still going to cost me 13 bucks a month because that's
Right.
my driving habits. So it doesn't go up in value. It doesn't, your cost of charging doesn't go up if you have a higher capacity battery.
The point is, we're not going to belabor the point on this episode, but it is way cheaper. We both own EVs. It's way cheaper to drive an EV. Bottom line, there's nothing to it. Plus the brakes, you don't have to change every 2 years or so because you don't use the brakes. It's regenerative braking, right?
Right.
They
do
oil.
wear,
I've
but
never
like-
had an oil change in a Model Y. Where does the oil go? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. No, the only thing I've ever put in the Leaf is windshield washer fluid.
Right. I'm saying like there's
That's
almost
it.
no maintenance to the car. So like these taxis like Revel and if New York doesn't get their shtick together,
Shite.
shite together.
Here's Hertz. Here's Hertz's like reawakening. Now I don't know because previous stock prices are in this chart. That leads me to believe that my shares and call options would have been honored. Again, if you know what's the deal with that, holding shares and call options on a company that's gone bankrupt, let me know. I'll look it up myself. And if I don't make it to the next video, if Vitaly's by himself, I'm in the corner crying because I lost over $100,000. But here's the deal. They are back at whatever their new IPO price was. This news, they've been hovering around the I don't even know what you call this, the second IPO price. They've been hovering around this after they launched in July, fell to about 16. Now they're back up to 28 again. And now this news is they're not even back to where they second IPO'd at. So if you believe in Tesla and you missed the boat or you believe in ride sharing, this could be a really good play. I can't see what their market cap
Hertz is a great play. I don't think so.
I'm going to go on record and say I think it's a
well, bring up the chart. I want to discuss it. It does look bullish, actually. If we were to just talk about the chart, isn't that looking like a cup and handle type of the bottoming, the rounding bottom? It comes down a little bit, and then if it blasts off past its sort of high over there, what's the high? Somewhere around, no, it has to go past there.
The high was, I guess, probably at 9:30 a.m. that day, 35.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the daily chart. Once again, I use the actual candle bodies. I don't use the wicks. So you see the way it does like a cup and handle. Now, once again, I'm not a super technical analyst, but if it breaks that could be really bullish. Like it could be really bullish for Hertz.
I'm actually surprised that you have the position that you have on Hertz, but not being, this is a rental car company that is changing themselves from a rental car company to a future autonomy.
Yeah, but all they're doing is spending $4.2 billion right now. They still have to generate the income. They still have to do all these things that you mentioned that is bullish, ride sharing, and whatever happens in the future. Yeah, that might work out, but short-term play, this might be a short-term play. I'm not in it. I'm not interested in it.
Play at all.
But
you get
Hertz, I would stay away from completely, honestly.
Oh man. All right. I think
just buy Tesla.
I think I know what Vitaly needs.
When life has you playing hurry up, Hertz keeps you ahead of the game. Let's go. Introducing our all-new electric vehicles. Let's go.
Oh God, that's all they made him say. Let's go. They have that guy there. What's his name? Brett Favre?
No, that's Tom Brady.
Whatever. Obviously, guys, I'm not in football. I don't know anything about football.
Because that's Tom Brady's catchphrase. That's like, get ready to rumble. Vitaly's not your guy to talk about like Sunday night football.
Do not call me about Sunday night football. Yeah.
But anyway, no, that's the thing is that's huge. And that's the way that you'd want it done. They bought the stuff. They had the ads ready to go. They have a great face attached to it. And the company has a lot of...
that's good for Tesla. I don't see how that's good for Hertz.
It's great because Hertz is the one doing it. Like seriously,
I know. But
what did you do with Vitaly?
They're promoting Tesla. They bought their cars, spent $4.2 billion, bought 100,000 cars.
Okay.
They're putting up a commercial with Brett Favre.
Right. Now the next time you get off the airport and you have Hertz, Amos, and Alamo, where are you going to go? Just answer the question. Where are you going to go? Right? Yeah, you get off the plane.
You know what?
You're
you're right. If I do want a Model 3, but I don't know the price of it. If it's like double, triple the price to rent a Tesla as opposed to some crappy Camry, I might just say,
okay, without seeing the page, I can't imagine that they would drop the ball that much.
500,000 ICE vehicles is still there. 20% will be these Teslas. So it's still a large fleet of Teslas. Don't get me wrong, but it's 20% and 80% will be ICE. I'm not saying they won't change that over time, but right now it's going to be 20% Tesla and 80% ICE. So
we'll see where the 20% is distributed. I'd imagine most of it's going to be in California or like the high volume.
I would think so. And people who don't mind paying a little bit more money, right? Maybe New York, Austin, like those places. It's not going to Ohio, guys.
But
You're not getting it in Ohio.
No, I don't think so. I already see a lot of Teslas on the road. I expect to see more. I don't know.
There's so many Teslas. Every time I see a Tesla, I see dollar signs.
I think this is really, really good news. This is the way that you reinvent a company, and I think
I agree there. I agree there.
To make the pivot, they just like rebranded.
They got so much publicity out of this spend. Like obviously they paid for the cars, but they were going to use cars anyway, right? So that was going to happen. That cost, whether it's ICE cars or Tesla cars, they were still going to spend the money, I think. So they thought, okay, if we get Brett Favre and we get Teslas, we probably get 100 million free of
ad
publicity.
Campaign writes itself.
No, but I'm saying CNBC is covering it. It's all in the news. So I think you're right about that. They changed the way you look at Hertz as a piece of dog poop to like, wow, this is a modern savvy company, right?
And the CEO was talking about like, I'm coming after Uber and Lyft. Like he's not messing around.
So you're
So
buying Hertz.
we're talking about a small allocation because
Well,
what
I
I'm
think
thinking
short
is,
term, by the way, if that plays out, you might be a double, but I hope you actually sell on this double.
oh,
That's
see,
what I would hope.
I think it's more of a longer term play. I think the news will.
Ooh, okay.
Here's why, because I think the news will. I think the news will fizzle out. Like after a while, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you've announced it, but there's no new product, right? So it's like, what's going to pop the stock? People just want to be in. I think what you're going to see now is people beginning to accumulate to start seeing
Okay.
quarter over quarter what's happening. How many of these are you renting? But
This is going to play out over a long time.
But I mean, I'm in Tesla for the long time. I'm in Enphase for the long time. I'm in all
And
these.
now
things
you're in Hertz for the long time.
I really think. I really think this your position now is not going to age well in a few years. This is how I see it. Hertz has now tied their future to Tesla, and I am so in Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm so in that company. And the day that they announce FSD, that it's here, I'll see my Tesla stock soar, and I will see my Hertz stock soar on that news. Tesla is going to solve FSD, man.
Oh, I believe you.
So,
I believe that part. It's just a year.
And how many other companies now, Alamo, Avis, all other companies now you have to do the same thing to compete. Now you're moving the entire industry. You're seen as the one leading the industry.
Well, hold on. The problem you just mentioned, you just said it. This is the problem. As soon as Hertz, this is great for Tesla. Hertz buys 100,000 cars. Next week, we're going to hear Alamo buys 10,000 Teslas. Enterprise buys 50,000 Teslas. So all of a sudden, Hertz is no longer as cool as we all thought.
But to your point, they're further back in the queue. This is why you
further back in the queue.
This is why you put your $100 on a Cybertruck and you pre-order it today just to hold your place in line.
I am in the queue, guys. By the way.
Exactly. I mean, me too. But the point is, that's what they've done. They have now and because they know that Tesla has production ramps. Guess what? The product that you need to compete with Hertz now, if you're Alamo in them, you can't have. So what are they going to do? They might make a deal with Ford. They might make a deal, and then we're going to see that play. And if one of these companies can't get their hands on Teslas and goes with another EV company, you know what's going to happen to them because it's not a Tesla. So I think was such a smart move.
Honestly, I think it's good for EVs. This is really just better for EVs and Tesla stock. So it makes me more bullish on Tesla. I know you're seeing the Hertz play in this, but
I'm only talking about rental companies. This is not even about Tesla.
I know, but I just see what if I had a dollar, forget about Facebook for a second. If I had a dollar, even in Tesla today or Hertz, I would rather put it into Tesla because now I know all the other players will be looking at, oh, damn it, I got to buy all these EVs now. Damn it.
No matter what happens now, Tesla's going to 3 trillion. Tesla's going to 5 trillion. Tesla might be
so it's a 3x from here.
But it's happening regardless. I don't know that this move from Hertz or whatever is going to move it that much faster. I don't think it's going to get us to that much faster. All it's going to mean is when FSD launches, it's going to explode. Right now, you have some serious competition, and it actually helps Tesla.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt Uber and it's going to hurt Lyft more than anybody else because now it's not just Tesla pumping these cars out. Now
I don't think it's going to hurt Uber and Lyft. They can buy 100,000 cars just like the other guys.
They're even further in the queue.
No, I get it, but
they're even further back.
I know, I understand that, but if Elon is ramping at 50% compounded, he said this, so that means next year is 1.5 million. Following year is 2.2 million. I don't know.
Then you have, but when you get to that 5 million mark,
my point is year 2 or 3, Uber can say, give me 100,000 of these cars.
You're right. But by then, how many more vehicles has Hertz bought? How many vehicles does Tesla have out on their own? How many individuals have the thing? It's like you were kind of late to the game.
No, you're not.
You know,
this is such a big market. Like you're considering this like, 100,000 vehicles is taking over the world. This is the worldwide market we're talking about. Uber, even Hertz, whatever. There's so much room for these players to have their RoboTaxi networks. There's just so much room. Just imagine. It's crazy how much room there is.
I get it, but I feel like we're off topic. This is about Hertz.
No, we're not. We sell 100 million vehicles in this country. I'm sorry. The whole world is 100 million vehicles or 80 million. This is a lot of vehicles that need to be turned into electric and autonomous.
I get it, but this is about Hertz's stock. Up until today, Hertz was a rental car company, and that's what their valuation was. Now they are set to benefit from FSD in the same way that Tesla is, and that's one of the big catalysts of Tesla going forward.
Oh yeah,
and they are now. It's probably the biggest thing. If they don't solve FSD, it's a different Tesla. But we believe they're going to solve it, and that's what's baked into this prices, and that's what Wall Street's going to jump on board finally now. What I'm saying is Hertz has now changed from just a rental car company to a rental and future autonomous service provider. And who knows, they might, if they don't get the cars from Tesla, they might get cars from someone else. They might get a bunch of, the ID4s or whatever the hell. They might just continue to do this. I see it as this 20% that they're doing now is going to become 50% in a few years when they see the success, the maintenance on it. It's nothing. When they see that those cars can go more than 18 months, 24, 36, 48 months driven for 1 million miles, and they don't break down like their other ICE vehicles do. And this is what I think is part of the catalyst to the end of the ICE era.
Well, once again, I agree with you what you're saying.
Not priced in. FSD is not priced in.
Hold on. Everything you're saying about Tesla is more or less accurate because this applies to Tesla being more successful, not to Hertz being more successful. And the way you said they're competing with on a Tesla level playing field. Remember, Elon Musk said when we release the RoboTaxi network, we're going to get probably 30% of the cost of that network. So
I am not saying
so meaning now everyone becomes a servant to Tesla. So if you're going to buy, my final words, if you're going to buy anything, do not buy Hertz, buy Tesla. Thank you.
No.
Well, hold on. I said my final piece. Okay. You said your final piece.
Here's my final piece. My final piece is Hertz has transformed themselves from a rental company to now being able to participate in the FSD. The amount of revenue that they're going to be able to generate now is an order of magnitude what it was before. Granted, we need to see this play out, but they are tied to Tesla, and we believe Tesla's a 95% winner. So they're set to benefit from the same thing that is one of the biggest catalysts, if not the biggest catalyst for Tesla in the future. I don't see how it's a bad play. This potential income stream from FSD is not baked into the price now. It's not baked in, and we don't know what it is. All we know is for Tesla, we're thinking that's what gets it from maybe 1 or 2 to 3 trillion, and then who knows? As it, like you said,
if FSD is real, Tesla is a $10 trillion company. Tesla is, I believe that when it is real. So my valuation is based on that. It is not here, and let me not bake that in, just like you're saying. And I think all the analysts are not baking it in. Even Rob Maurer hasn't baked it in yet. Okay.
Well, but the fact that it's on the horizon is somewhat baked in because you see just the multiple that they're trading at in terms of the PE. So they're saying they're eventually not only going to hit this.
It's like 130 or 140 PE right
it's
now.
Ridiculous. But Wall Street did not push this thing from like 900 to 1025.
Honestly, I don't think it's that ridiculous because once again, if you look at tech companies like Amazon, who've traded into thousands of PE, like 3,000 at some points.
For a long time.
So if you consider Amazon only an online store that's just like Walmart, then you would never do it at 3,000 PE. So Tesla, are they just another automaker? I hate this discussion. Obviously, they're not. They have energy, batteries. They're mining. They're doing AI. Like the idiots who still talk about that, I don't even want to cover on our channel because they're morons.
Right. Or who compare it to just Ford's.
It's a tech company, and 130p is not that terrible for a tech company.
Hertz could take a piece of the infotainment because you brought the driver to the car. What I'm saying is, if you're Hertz and you now have the people in the car, they've rented the car from you, and you're making money, and you want to upsell them. Like years ago, when I would rent a car in LA or rent a car in Florida, they would upcharge me for the TomTom. If I wanted GPS, they would upcharge me, and I'd have to pay for it. It was a separate fee, and I could see that the infotainment could be the same thing, where they would say, "Look, we're going to sell this to your customers because you're not just going to give it away for free." And Hertz is not paying $10,000 for full self-driving, and they probably don't want the $200.
And that's $10,000 now. Imagine in like 5 years, it could be $50,000. We don't know.
Right. It could be so overpriced because at that point Tesla's making so much money that they have to charge you that much money.
Right. Well, yeah, because you're going to make 300,000 off the car, 200,000 off the car, whatever you're going to make off the car.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when they charge different rates for pay-per-view to businesses versus they know you're going to make 10 grand off the event. They charge you 2,000 for the fight or whatever it is. I could see that being the same deal. I guess the last thing is looking at this is where Tesla was today. Tesla was, and it looked like it was in a bit of a wedge and just completely
went vertical. Yeah, that doesn't look like a bubble to me.
No,
don't look, guys.
Guys, this is the new support level, and no, this is coming down.
Wow, the fact that you showed that scares me a little bit now.
This is coming back down. We know this is coming back down. We know it's going to come back down, and it's going to come back down 700-800. And I'm a buyer again.
Honestly, it could settle, I think, at 900, not 700-800. I think 900 because what was the previous high? It was 9. What was the support?
The previous was like 9 and change.
That's what it's going to be at. It's not going underneath that.
Okay. One reason why I think it'd be lower. One reason why I think it'd be lower is because it wasn't 600-700 for a while, and I think a lot of this ramp up that we've seen was building it into the price. People start FOMOing in, and then they tank it. But this Hertz deal sort of put the kibosh on the sellers, being like, "Oh shit, they're seeing it ramp up." So I think tomorrow's going to be
Hey, Gene, it's BK. So let me ask you, just put a $2,500, I mean, roughly, you didn't put a price target on it, but you said if you put a 6 multiple on it, you can get the $2,500. I happen to think maybe that probably gets there sooner than we think. Let's say it gets there within the next quarter or two, which I think is a possibility. Do you then sell it, and then does that turn you bearish?
Yeah, I think
He's like, I'm going to sell it.
I think I would sell it if it got to 2,500. And
He's
and
imagining how much profit he has at
just,
2,500.
Too much, too fast. You could argue that at where it's at today, but there has to be some sort of a framework around this. And what I'm talking about is 2017. I'm talking about like a 3-5 year price target to double. That would be a great return on a typical investment. But if we got there in a short amount of time, that would be too far, too fast for me, and I would be selling at 2,500.
All right, Gene, great to speak with you.
So we'll hear the rest of it just to cover this, to make sure that people have heard. Gene Munster, this guy, says it's going to be 2,500, 3 to 5 years. Okay. The other guy says, I can see it in a quarter or two.
Right.
Okay. Guys, you have to sell. Okay. This is financial advice. You have to sell.
Right. The only piece of financial advice is when you are sitting on a life-changing amount of money, or if you're sitting on a multiple of your yearly salary, take profits. No one ever went broke taking profits.
Take the money. Take the money.
Say it with us.
The money. Take the money.
We got to put up the ALYI song. Okay, so let us know in the comments below what you guys think of this.
Well, are you buying Hertz? Actually, I want to know. Are you with me and you'd rather buy even 1/4 of
No, we're not comparing. We're not saying either or. No. We're just saying.
No. You have to pick sides. You have to pick sides. Either you're with me or you're against me.
Right. Either you're with me or you hate money.
Well, hold on. Like and subscribe. We have a Neo Volta video coming up with the CEO basically in a week or two. So like and subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, guys. Bye. We haven't had one of those in a while. That was good.
That was good. I like the energy.
You are wrong. No, you are wrong. No, you're wrong.
I know. I wonder, actually, it's going to be interesting because we've never had this much energy.